While we're waiting, could I ask a question?
Sure, Carol, go
I
ahead.
was talking to Jamal the other day, and she said that we're from all over, and I would just be curious as to where people are calling in from.
Perfect. Where are you calling in from, Carol? We can start with you.
I'm calling in from Redwood City, which is part of the San Francisco Bay Area.
Perfect. Thank
California.
you. Thank you, Carol. Kate?
I'm calling in from Denver, Colorado.
Nice. Great to have you, Kate. Eugenio, is that correct?
Yeah. I'm calling from, well, close to the Bay Area, San Ramon, California.
Perfect. Thank you. John?
I'm in San Lorenzo, also in the Bay Area.
Perfect. Carol Sang?
I am from Malaysia.
Danny?
I'm calling from Tucson, Arizona.
Thank you, Danny. Isha?
I'm calling from San Francisco.
Perfect. I'm calling in from Santa Clara, California. David?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. Kevin Lynn?
So it's 6:05 p.m. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Welcome to Interpersonal Toastmasters. I am Daniel Lopez, the Sergeant at Arms for the club. Everyone, please turn on your cameras now. Before we proceed, please turn off your cell phones or set them on silent mode. Please mute your mics. And please help me welcome our distinguished Toastmaster of the day, Abhijit Joshi.
Thank you so much, Danny. Our today's theme is end of summer. During the summer, I always look forward to just sitting down on the Stinson beach around 8 o'clock and just enjoying that twilight zone. But I also look forward to the cooler temperatures. The cooler temperatures help me to sleep better. What about you? What are you going to miss from the summer? And what are you looking forward to in the fall? Today, we have a packed agenda. Toastmasters meetings are in 3 parts. The first section is prepared speeches. The second section, the most exciting section, impromptu speaking or the table topics. And the final section, the growth section, where you get the feedback which helps us to elevate to the next level. Let's start with our thought of the day. Let me call upon Shweta Karwa to share the thought of the day.
Hey everyone. When I was looking for thoughts for today, someone, Rita Barbara, who's probably here today, emailed on our meetup group with something, but her signature had something which really resonated with me, and I thought I'll just pick up that as the thought for today. And the thought is that one bad chapter does not make the entire book of your life.
Very well said, Shweta. You know, one bad chapter doesn't define us. We can overcome anything. Our next role bearer, our timer for today is going to be Kenneth Lakshmi. Kenneth, can you explain your role, please?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. As your timer, I will be noting the timing of each of the prepared speeches as well as the impromptu speeches. When I flash my screen to green, like so, that means you have reached the qualifying time. When I flash to yellow or red, red means you have 30 seconds to finish up your speech and wrap it up. For prepared speeches, today they will both be icebreakers, and so they will be 4 to 6 minutes. For the impromptu speeches, you'll have 1 to 2 minutes. Back to you, Toastmaster Abhijit.
Thank you so much, Kenneth. Our next role bearer is Kate Greathouse. She's going to be our R counter. Kate, can you explain your role, please?
So the R counter essentially counts all the filler words that you use whenever you speak, and I will report back at the end.
Thank you, Kate. She's going to help us to make sure we get rid of those filler words. Our first speaker is Danny Lopez. He's giving his first ever speech, The Icebreaker. His evaluator is Elizabeth Chitoris. Elizabeth, can you share the purpose of his speech?
Sure. The purpose of an icebreaker speech is to share something about yourself with the club. Once we don't know you, anything you share will be new and interesting for us to help get to know you. It's also your first opportunity to give a speech at our club. And I'm very much looking forward to evaluating your speech. Thank you, Abhijit.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Please help me welcome Danny Lopez. Life, Danny Lopez. Danny, can you unmute yourself?
I forgot to unmute myself. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster. So here I go with my speech. Hello, guys. My name is Daniel. I am 21 years old, and I come from a Mexican family. Last week was my first Toastmaster meeting. I got a really good idea of what Toastmaster is about, and I really enjoyed the meeting. I want to let you know that I'm an introverted person, so I'm usually the quiet one when I go out in public with my friends or family. I feel as though that has made me miss a lot of fun because of my lack of communication. Whenever I go out in public, I always see people talking and smiling and having a good time. Whenever people invite me to places, I tend to say no because I'm afraid that I won't be a proper companion. I find it hard to interact with others, so I just stay at home and lock myself in the room whenever possible. Basically, I just let my life pass and watched it pass without me doing anything about it. My mental health declined 3 years ago for the same reason. I felt as though I could not do anything about it. The past 3 years, I've sat in the passenger side of my life and let life steer the wheel. As many of you know, that is not an optimal way of living. So next thing I know, I'm 21 years old that have gone by, and I feel as though I have not accomplished anything worthwhile. I really don't know all that much, but I always knew I wanted to help others. Because I know life is tough, and unless you were fortunate to have both parents with you growing up that cared for you and gave you all the tools to navigate life, then you probably haven't made nearly as many mistakes as me or anyone that can relate to me. But even then, we go through life always struggling to make a meaning out of it. I know I do, and many generations before have. It is not a problem of now. Everyone has their own opinions, and we should respect them. We all grew up with different life experiences that shape the reality in which we view the world. So I volunteered to be a presentation speaker this meeting, even though it means to be out of my comfort zone. I knew it was the right choice. I've thought about this speech all week, and it made me anxious, not gonna lie, to think that I would have to present. But I also knew I could not back out. If I did, it would mean to render myself to my old self. And that is not an option. Because how can I expect to help others when I cannot even help myself? This that I'm doing is not about me. It's for a bigger cause. It's about giving without expecting anything in return. For the past months, I've tried to understand the world better. I've read books, watched videos, and observed the world around me. I've had some pretty profound realizations. One of them being people actually don't know what they're doing, and everyone's scared deep inside. It just so happens that some are better at hiding their feelings than others. This has really helped me in my road to recovery because I used to think that I had to do everything perfect. If not, it was not worth trying. I've missed out a lot on a lot of fun activities because I was afraid that people would laugh at me, when in reality, nobody's perfect. And it's part of human nature to be imperfect. And that is okay. We have to accept who we are and learn to love ourselves unconditionally. We cannot control what others people do or say. What we can control is how we think and react to things. Much like the saying goes, stick and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So please, people, stop living life in fear and be yourselves. Don't hold back because we only have this life and we never know when it will be our last. Thank you so much. And that is my speech.
Thank you so much, Danny. Danny, I admire your courage. Thank you for taking that step. I felt touched by your speech. Everyone, please stand up and give him a standing ovation. This is his first speech ever. Thank you so much. Everyone, please take a minute to give feedback to Danny in private chat. Kenneth, can you please give me a minute?
That's a minute up, Jeep.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Thank you guys for your, sorry to interrupt. I just want to say quick thank you to all you guys.
Thank you.
Really means a lot to me. Thank you guys.
Our next speaker is someone whose enthusiasm we cannot contain in the Zoom window. His name is Pradeep Aithal. His evaluator is Kevin Lynn. Kevin, can you share the purpose of Pradeep's speech? Kevin, we cannot hear you.
There we go.
Yes.
Technical issues. But this will be Pradeep's speech on the pathway motivational strategy. It is the project Connect with Storytelling. The purpose of this speech is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. I'll be looking for how well Pradeep integrates his speech to make a influential and motivational impact. Back to you, Abhijit.
Thank you, Kevin. Pradeep Aithal, my Costco moment, Pradeep Aithal. Pradeep, it's all you.
Can I have a show of hands? Who here likes Costco shopping? We have quite a few. Can I have a show of hands again? Who likes to shop at Costco on a weekend? Almost none. Me neither. Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This is my Costco moment, which changed my attitude forever. On one Saturday morning, I'm watching TV and my wife says, Honey, you need to go to Costco. We need bread and milk. Costco on a weekend? You know, I don't go to Costco on a weekend. It's a stampede. Honey, we have guests coming tomorrow. We need grocery. You need to go to Costco. All right, I will go. I'm frustrated already. I go drive to Fremont Costco. As usual, I go to get my cart. The cart is stuck. Always happens. I go to the next one. It's so dirty. I just skip it. Finally, I get my card and push the card into Costco. I check my wallet. Oh no, I forgot my Costco membership. Now I have to stand in the membership line forever. I go to the membership line, wait for 15 minutes to get my temporary membership card. After years of shopping in Costco, I found out the efficient route through Costco. Efficient route means less time. Less time means lighter on the wallet. My first stop is the refrigerated section. I pick up my fruits and my veggies. Next, I go to the milk section. I pick up 2 cartons of milk. I make sure I check the expiration date. I don't want to be called out from my wife for an early expiration date. I go to the frozen section, pick up my ice cream and my cheese. And I go to the daily section. I pick up my bread and all I need to take. I'm so glad I'm finished my entire shopping in 15 minutes. I get a call. Honey, you need to get avocados. Oh, wait. First, it's not on the list. Second, I'm almost done with my shopping. And now I have to go all the way across the store to get a bunch of avocados. I can't do that. Honey, we need avocados for guac and chips. We need it. All right, I'll go. Now I become smarter. I leave the cart right there. I go through the lines like a video game through all the carts and finally to the avocado section, and I get my bunch of avocados and come all the way back to my cart. Now I'm glad it's over. I go to the checkout line looking for the shortest line, and when I'm about to check out, I see the diapers in my cart. There are crackers in my cart. I didn't pick them up. Oh no, it's not my cart. I stole someone's cart. Oh, now I have to go all the way back again. I take the cart. I go back to where I might have kept my old cart. And finally, I found it at the bread section where I left it. Now I wait for 5 minutes, wait for 10. There are no takers. I don't know what to do. I just leave the other cart right there, take my cart, go to the checkout and get back home. I'm glad it's over. But the thought bothered me for the next day and the week after. What if the person had to go all the way again out to the store, get a new cart and shop all over again? Shopping once in Costco is so tough to think about doing it twice. What if it was a single parent? Was talking to a Costco representative even an option? Well, I haven't heard any announcement in Costco. Have you? Was it even an option? I don't know. This is one Costco moment I'm not proud about. I can blame it. I can blame it on my wife for pushing me to go to Costco, which is not my comfort zone on a weekend. I can blame it on the cart, which made me frustrated. I can blame it on the Costco line, which made me tired. Or I can blame it to go all the way across the store to get a bunch of avocados, which I don't like doing it. Or I can blame on myself for not being calm, for not paying attention to detail. I know what it is. From then on, I've been calm, not just at Costco, at any store. And I've paid attention to detail not to steal someone's car. And last but not the least, I checked the shopping list with my wife, not once, not twice, but 3 times, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Pradeep. Pradeep, it needs courage to not blame your wife for what happened. So I admire you. Thank you so much. Everyone, please take a minute to give feedback to Pradeep. Kenneth, please give me a minute.
That's time.
Thank you so much, Kenneth. Our next section is the most exciting section of Toastmasters. It is called as table topics or the impromptu speaking. I still remember my first table topics. I was asked a question. I went on the stage. I started speaking. After 10 seconds, I just froze. And everyone clapped at me after I was done. So this is your time to get frozen. And I dare you to speak for 1 minute. Let me call upon our table topics master, Jaimal George. It's all you, Jaimal.
Thank you, Abhijit. Welcome, everyone. I am going to ask you a question, and in return, you're going to give me a response. Speak for 1 to 2 minutes. And this is going to be really fun. The first question is to John. John, what excites you about summer? What excites you about summer? John.
What excites me about summer? Hiking in the shady parks in the Bay Area. I love going to Redwood Park, going up and down French Trail, seeing the stream trail, watching the flowers as they come up, and then seeing the fog in the morning in the hills, and then listening to the fog come down through the trees. It sounds like rain in the morning when you walk first thing in the morning. And that's just one of the parks that excites me in the Bay Area. There's also Joaquin Miller Park. I love seeing the horse shows, Sequoia Arena. Seeing the horse shows up in the middle of the redwood trees is an absolutely spectacular experience. It's not a big stadium where there's thousands of people. It's just a handful of people, and it's up in the beautiful redwoods. You can see the blue sky and the trees, and these people having trained horses up there out in the middle of the forest is fantastic. Another thing I love is just getting outside and riding my bicycle in the fresh air and seeing all the neighbors around watering their lawn, and I can walk by, drive by in my bike and see all the friendly faces that I haven't seen for a long time. So I love summer all the way around, especially in the Bay Area. Thank you, Jamal.
Thank you, John. That's amazing. You're right. When it comes to summer, that's beautiful what you said about hiking, seeing the redwoods trees, as well as going biking and seeing what the neighbors are doing because everybody is outside. Excellent. Next question is to Eugenio. Eugenio, every summer has a story. What's your story? Every summer has a story. What's your story, Eugenio?
Um, so so my story for summer typically involves time with family, and usually getting together with family, and then just reconnecting, and just uh, enjoying our time off together, traveling together, and not just that, also enjoying my time outside, getting to exercise as long as I want, soaking in the sun. So my story, just so much during the summertime. Um, it's a lot. Yeah, that's my story. And yeah, sorry.
Thank you so much, Eugenio. That's right. I agree with you. Spending time with family and outdoors there's so much stories around it. Thank you for sharing. The next question is to Chuck Nee. Chuck Nee, what is your favorite season and why? What is your favorite season and why?
Yeah,
Chuck Nee.
so I'm also in the Bay Area, so actually every season is my best season here. Because I like outdoor, and outdoor here is good for every season.
Thank you. You're right. Every season is really good in Bay Area. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Smith. The next question is to Smith. Fall is right around the corner. What does it mean to you? Fall is right around the corner. What does it mean to you? Smith.
Thanks for the question. So fall is one of my favorite seasons. To me, it means color. To me, it means all the leaves decorating the driveway of my house. It is a very pleasant weather for me. I am not very fond of summer. Growing up in India, heat is something that I have learned to not like as much. So getting into the cooler weather from summer is really something that I look forward to. Fall is also marking the beginning of festival season in the US. So starting with Halloween, starting with the chocolates and the kids that come to the home, and then going on to Thanksgiving, looking forward to the vacations, and just traveling to different places.
Thank you, Smith. I totally agree. As the fall begins, so does the colors, the festivity, thinking about Thanksgiving, holidays, a lot of things come with it. Next question is to David. As we watch leaves falling, we are reminded of letting go of things that hold us back. What is the one thing you would like to let go of? What is the one thing you would like to let go of? David.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. The one thing I would like to let go of is the COVID tonnage that I put on over the last 18 months. So that is the one big thing that I'll be focusing on getting rid of over the next 18 months, is to get back to my pre-COVID weight. So it's just a matter of figuring out a different exercise program. Being home, the refrigerator was constantly calling my name, and of course I responded. And so I have to avoid doing that a little bit more. I gave up my gym membership during COVID because I didn't want to be in the gym. So I've just had to rearrange a whole lot of different things and just figure out a different way to get it done, which I am working on and have just begun to chip away at it. But got a lot of work to do. But that is the big thing that I want to let go of, is all the extra flab that I put on. And my daughter is helping me because my 9-year-old pokes me in the stomach and says, "Daddy, when are you going to look like you did in those other pictures?" So I am motivated because I'm really getting tired of that. So that is my answer to that question.
Thank you, David. I totally can resonate with you. I also want to become healthy and active, and the time is right. And there is motivation and inspiration from all sources. I just have to do it. Our last question is to Carol. Carol, how would you like to mark the end of summer? How would you like to mark the end of summer? Carol.
Jamal, there are 2 Carols here.
Oh yeah, I was asking Carol Cross. Is that okay? Thank you, Carol. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
You know, okay, there. I think I finally got it. I am marking the end of summer this Sunday because my birthday comes at the end of summer. And I used to be very sad at the end of summer because I was a year older. I was a teacher for many years, and it meant I had to go back to work, and I loved the kids, but I really like staying at home and just being much lazier than that. But this year, my family and I are going to go to San Francisco. They give free concerts in the park every Sunday. And so we're going to hear that. And then we are going to really splurge, and we're all taking a ride on the Sky Star, which is the enormous Ferris wheel in Golden Gate Park that will allow us to see way out over the city. And that's how we're marking the end of summer this year.
Thank you so much, Carol. You're right, going to San Francisco, doing the things that we could do during the summer. And I'm really excited. And you gave me tips on how to mark my summer too. Thank you so much. Back to you, Abhijit.
Thank you, Joymal. Thank you for those wonderful questions. It helps us to understand the personal stories of other people. Thank you, everyone, for sharing those. Our next section is the growth section, where we do the evaluation of the speeches. Let me call upon our first evaluator, Elizabeth Chittoris. Elizabeth, it's all you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Danny, I want to compliment you for speaking today. You showed great courage in overcoming your fear of public speaking to present your speech to us today, and you nailed it. You shared from the heart, and I felt a connection with you. I'm also an introvert with perfectionist tendencies, and I can definitely relate to not feeling like I'm living my best life. Your speech was well delivered. Your voice was very clear and well controlled, with very good pacing. I really liked your word choices and phrasing, such as when you said you were letting life steer the wheel. I could really picture this image in my mind, like I'm wanting to steer, but it's being taken in another direction from me. I feel like I got to know you better. And you inspired me to remember to step outside of my comfort zone. One recommendation that I have for you to make your speech even better is that I noticed when you were speaking that, probably out of nervousness, you had this tendency to rock back and forth. And that was a little bit distracting for me. I probably do it sometimes too, but being aware of how you're moving while you're speaking can help and present a more peaceful attitude next time instead of moving back and forth. Overall, I think you did a fantastic job for an icebreaker, and I can't wait to hear your next speech. Thank you. Back to you, Abhijit.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for that motivating evaluation. It will help Danny to take his speech to the next level. Let me call upon our next evaluator, Kevin Lynn, to evaluate Pradeep's speech. Kevin?
Last time I went to Costco, I found out that my eggs broke in front of the cashier. I had to go back to get it. Pradeep, I know exactly how you felt. Pradeep, I absolutely enjoyed the humor that you put into the speech. It manifested through, one, the vocab. For example, when you describe the crowd in Costco as a stampede. What an apt description. Yeah, those were definitely more like animals than like humans, I can tell you. And the other one is through clever wordplay, like spending less time means lighter on the wallet. I love that because I felt that. The next thing I enjoy is how vivid your gestures and your movements are. When you move front to talk about Costco in the weekend. When your hands wiggle when you're talking about how light your wallet is and going, oh my God, this is the wrong card. I love all of them. And it is exactly these movements that I hope you can refine them even more in the next speech. And that is through more contrast in the movements. All of your movement feels so energetic, which actually made them feel less energetic. Having a contrast between the really big ones and the smaller ones will make the big ones feel even more impactful. And it will lead to a progression. Throughout the speech, I feel like the tone or the energy feels quite consistent. I hope you can do something like, honey, okay, fine, I can get the bread and milk, and then move up one more level. I need to spend 15 minutes in the line and then move up another level. And I got the wrong card? That progression will lead up the speech into a higher climax. And one more thing is, I hope you can prepare us more for that wonderful message of blaming yourself and not others. Throughout the speech, I feel like your attitude towards Costco, towards the entire situation, is more of an annoyance than a distaste, because blaming feels more like a distaste. So I hope when you're talking about your wife, you can say, and you get, honey, okay, I'll get the avocado. Avocado. Show your distaste. And show your distaste towards Costco as well. That will lead us to feel that blame towards your wife or Costco. And at the end, make the blame towards you feel more real. Lastly, I absolutely loved the beginning of your speech. The two questions differ by 3 words. In the weekend, change the response from the audience. And that is a great way to both get us a good laugh and prepare us for the speech. Thank you. Back to you, Abhijit.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate your evaluation. It was very thoughtful. Let me call upon our timer to share the timer's report. Kenneth?
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhijit. Tonight, we had a great observance of the time. Everything stayed on track. Starting with Danny. Danny's speech came in at 4 minutes and 58 seconds. Pradeep came in at 6 minutes even. John Sorry, with John's, I was so distracted writing down park hiking recommendations that I need to check it. 1 minute and 20 seconds. Eugenio was 1:10. Chuck was 20 seconds. Smith was 1 minute and 3 seconds. David was 1:11. Carol was 1:01. Elizabeth was 1:51. And Kevin, I swear you have an internal chronometer because you were 3 minutes and 30 seconds even.
Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you for keeping us on time. Let me call upon Kate to share the R Counters report. Kate?
Hi, so today we had, thank you, Toastmaster. We had Danny with 3 R's and an 3 pauses, a Xerox, and multiple false starts. Pradeep just had the 1 false start. John had an and 2 Xerox and a false start. Eugenio had many ums and ahs and ums and a couple of ands. Carol had 1 ah and 5 ums. Chuck 2 ahs and a so and a pause. David had multiple ahs, 2 Xerox and a false start. Smith had many ahs and a so.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you for helping us to improve the next time. We'll keep those filler words in mind. I appreciate the wonderful meeting. It's all because of you, the meeting becomes successful. Now let me get some guest feedback. Eugenio, how did you feel from today's meeting?
It was pretty good. I got to see the other speeches, so yeah, I think I definitely froze up. So, but yeah, it was a good question. So it made me think on my feet. So, and I think everyone else did really good. So, yeah.
Eugenio, we have all been there, so this is our journey. So thank you for sharing that. Smith, how was your experience?
It was pretty good. It's very rewarding, and thank you for volunteering me. I would not have myself volunteered. That step takes more courage. So thank you for just putting that question up front in front of me. This was very enjoyable, and especially the feedback is something that is very important to me. Thanks.
Thank you, Smith. David, how was your experience?
It was good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm glad the all counter caught all those ums. Gives me something I've got to work on. I appreciate that.
Thank you, David. Thank you. Chuck, how was your experience, Chuck?
Yeah, that is very good for me to learn. So I even did not talk enough about the topic. So I'm just keep improving.
Thank you, Chuck. Let me call upon the president of the club, Jamal George.
Thank you so much, Abhijit. My name is Jamal. I want to share with you the story as how we started this interpersonal Toastmasters. In my life, there are many occasions where if I was compassionate with the person in front of me, I would have been able to boost the relationship. And while talking to Abhijit, I got an idea of why not have a Toastmasters club where we can help in developing strong relationships. The focus is on building relationship by developing interpersonal communication. I want to share this journey with you. I created a core team to found the club and explore this further. You can see the 3 musketeers, me, Kenneth, and Elizabeth. We want you to join this club as a charter member. A charter member is a member of history. Everybody is going to know that this person is one of the original that started this club, and that's exactly who you are. Are you ready to join me on this voyage? Who would like to join the voyage?
Perfect, Smith.
Eugene, that's good. Thank you. And David?
I can't commit to that, so that's why I haven't said anything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chutney? Okay. Back to you, Abhijit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. I've been a Toastmasters member for over 2.5 years. I still remember my first speech. I was elected president I was elected president of the Graduate Student Association, and I had to give a speech at a banquet. The only way I managed to give a speech is by chugging the whole beer before I got on the stage. And I never wanted to do this again in my life. But 3 years ago, my friend encouraged me. She said, it will change your life. And just because of her, I joined Toastmasters. And life is totally different. It has helped me to connect with my purpose of giving back. What is your purpose and what are you chasing? I now adjourn this meeting. Thank you so much and look forward to seeing you next week, same time. Good night.
We're going to stay back for some questions if you have.
Yeah, I have one. The club is called Interpersonal Communications. Why that name and what it is? Interpersonal Toastmasters, rather. Why was that name chosen?
That's a good question. Interpersonal Toastmasters, and that's because we want to enhance our interpersonal communication skills. Many times what I've seen is we're good in talking, like, giving a public speak, standing in a podium and talking. But then when it comes to building interpersonal communication skills, I have seen that there's more than that. We want to build our understanding for the other person. Everybody's perspective is valid, but how will you understand that? And the way you can understand is by separating observation from judgment, from having more vocabulary when it comes to feelings, understanding what the needs are, having more empathy. So in this club, apart from doing all the Toastmasters curriculum, we will also be introducing more about different vocabularies that comes with feelings, and also how to, through the thought of the day, reiterate the intention as to broaden our communication skills so that, we can boost our relationship. And I felt interpersonal communication, Interpersonal Toastmasters is a good name for it. Abhijit, you want to add anything?
No, you said it precisely. What I do when I'm writing the speeches these days is I have my feelings list, because what I have realized is if I share my feelings with the audience, I can make a connection with the audience. And it's all about making a connection. And it takes time to make a connection. So I'm training myself to share my emotions, my vulnerability with the audience. And because of that, I'm able to build that strong connection. And those strong connections last for a long time. Any other questions, anyone?
Elizabeth, Kenneth, do you want to add anything?
Sure, I'm happy to say a word or two. So one of the things Jamal and I talked about, which was a shared book we both loved, was Nonviolent Communication. If you haven't ever had a chance to read that book, it really gets into specific methodologies and techniques for how to do things like communicate your needs. I think a lot of us, myself at least, I'm speaking for myself, struggle to communicate our needs. It's really easy to keep saying yes, 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 and then not necessarily set up those boundaries. That was a book that opened up my eyes to another way to listen to people, as well as to help guard myself. And I'm hopeful that we can create a forum here where we're practicing techniques like that, not just from that one book, but it's a really good one.
Thank you, Kenneth. I'm gonna jump in and agree with you that the reason I was drawn to Jamal's idea for a new club also resonated with me for the nonviolent communication and connecting with people at the level of feelings and needs. I think that's what we need right now in our world, is we need to be able to connect with people that we don't agree with, people that we think are other. But if we can get to the root of it, we are all human beings on this one planet. And gosh, wouldn't it be great if we could connect easier with other people?
Very well said, Elizabeth. Thank you. Danny, how was your experience giving the speech today? What was going on?
It was a really, really good experience for me. Thank you guys for allowing me to do this. It was great. I feel like it has helped me in all aspects of my life. And if I continue to this path, I will improve very, very much. Communication is something that does not come naturally to me. So, but I also know like communicating is really important in this world. It's one of the most valuable skills one can learn. So I thank you guys for like letting me be able to do this, and then being here and listening to what I have to say and not judge me. So I really feel comfortable in this group. You guys all really welcome me very, very nice. So I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys.
We appreciate you, Danny, for sharing your story.
Smith had a question about what being a charter member entails. Abhijit, you want to share that?
Sure. So as a charter member, for a club to form, you need the 20 members. The club starts when you have the 20 members. So when you're a charter member, you are one of those 20 members. And it's a moment of proud, because I'm a charter member of 3 clubs, and I will always remember that. It will always stay with me. I feel proud about my accomplishment, getting those people together and starting something new. So that is what it means to be a charter member. Isha, how was your experience today?
I mean, besides the fact that I was not able to be a timer, I really enjoyed everyone's speeches. It gives me more courage to actually put myself out there and, have that icebreaker speech. It's nice to have kind of like live vicariously through other people's experiences, because it makes you feel more at ease about your role and what you would have to do maybe in the future. But yeah, it's more than that. I think the stories that you hear from people, it's really nice. And yeah, it's a good way to connect with people too.
Thank you so much, Isha. Thank you. Carol Cross, how was your experience today?
It was good. It was fast. It was interesting because I very definitely heard myself say at the beginning, but I had no idea I had said 5 times in my little teeny weeny time slot. So that's pretty, there I go. That's interesting. I'm going to really try to watch that. Thank you. It was fun.
Thank you, Karen.
Carol, what I'll say is, on the impromptus, my filler words probably 5x versus the prepared speeches. It's just the nature of being totally untethered.
Thank you.
Abhijit, Can you put myself, Eugene, and Smith in a breakout room?
Sure.
Thank you.
Some closing thoughts that I'll give to folks about just the nature of Toastmasters and why doing Toastmasters. One of the things that I didn't necessarily know that I was going to really